I have returned from my 2-month hiatus. So if this is your first time watching, welcome. If you've watched before and didn't notice I was gone, that saddens me, but I forgive you. I just took a break just because I was dealing with a lot of work and personal things, and I felt like I wasn't in the headspace to make a video. I would prefer to make a video that is either informative or fun, and if I'm just making it to make it, it's neither of those things. So I think the break kind of helped. Obviously, a couple things have changed. I've bleached my hair. It's already growing in though, and my hair grows really fast, so it's like brunette in a bunch of places. I also shaved my beard. I want to say it was like month 7, but I had like a full beard going on, and what was happening is a lot of spots were soft because they were new hairs that had come in, and basically when you're shaving, you're just blunting the tip, which causes that like coarse texture, and because those hairs hadn't been shaved yet, I just was feeling uneven and weird. So I shaved, just kind of even that out, make everything feel a little bit more the same. The only issue is I have hair that grows here, here, and here faster than the rest, thicker, fuller, etc. So it's like uneven, obviously, but that's just gonna happen. The whole thing is just letting it all grow out and then evening it out later. But the texture is making me feel better, so it works for me. Hair grows back. At first I was like, oh no, because I looked so weird. I was used to myself with facial hair, but like I said, hair grows back. It's feeling better now, so either way, I like it better this way. My voice has also changed a bit, so I think I did a voice update, I want to say like a week ago, and I'm pretty sure even since then, my voice is a little deeper. I think I'm going to just play the pre-T and 8-month update really quick just to compare to now and see if it is different, because I'm intrigued. So here it is.
My name is Aiden. This is my voice pre-T.
Hi, my name is Aiden. This is my voice 8 months on T. So that's my voice pre-T in 8 months. I'm going to have to play this back later and just hear for myself if it's different. I mean, I know it's super different from pre-T, which is awesome, and I know it's since I'm only like 8 months that it's going to just keep changing. But yeah, it blows my mind to this day. Anyways, let's dive into today's topic. Today's topic is restrooms. I figured this is a great topic because it is a huge source of anxiety for trans folks, non-binary folks, and masculine presenting lesbians. I hear this one all the time. Like, I'll be on TikTok or something and I see so many videos about the same thing where they're in the restroom and people look at them and are like, you don't belong in this restroom. And it's like, they do. They just are dressed that way. How they dress shouldn't really matter, but either way, I really think that bathrooms should just be like a stall, like your own little individual bathroom with like a sink, just like a family restroom is. I think they should all be like that. It would completely make everybody comfortable. You don't have to worry that someone weird is in there. I hate that. I'm sorry. I have to put in quotes and shake my head because someone weird in there. But you know what I'm talking about. People get weirded out that there are other people in there that don't look normal, and it's just a whole thing. So it'll make those people feel comfortable. It'll make trans, non-binary, and masculine presenting lesbians feel comfortable, and overall just everybody more comfortable. I think it would be the perfect solution. So that is my 2 cents. Side note, if you are one of those people who think that other people who don't look like you are weird, I don't know how you found this video, but feel free to stay so you can like get educated a little bit more on the subject, because we're not creepy predators or anything like that. We're just people using a bathroom. You looking at us more makes you kind of creepy in comparison. So yeah. So restrooms. Why don't I first start with the timeline of how I started using the men's restroom and where I started with that and where I am now with that. So when I first was transitioning, I feel like I didn't pass well enough and just looked too feminine, so I kept using the women's restroom for a little bit. Granted, I was facing kind of that struggle that masculine lesbians are facing, and people would kind of look at me like, oh, and do like a double take because I look a little bit more masculine. I wouldn't even wear a binder always, and I would still have those looks of like, do you belong in here? So I can definitely see how that is frustrating for everybody all around. at first too, I think the really difficult part for me is I have a shy bladder, so it doesn't matter. Like, I don't like using the restrooms anyways when someone's in there, and being trans and starting my trans journey, I was just like, gosh, I don't know what bathroom to use. What bathroom do I use? It was just really difficult because on one hand, I think passing is silly. Like, your goal shouldn't be to pass. It should be to be like comfortable in your skin. But as far as the bathrooms go, like, it makes you kind of like want to pass. It's just this whole thing. So ultimately, what I would actually do, which I'm sad to admit, is I would just go home and use the bathroom. I am really fortunate that I live in a great area where I have tons of like shopping places, restaurants, things to do, like, are all really close to where I live. So coming home takes like not very long. Like, I think the furthest drive that I would possibly make is like 20 minutes, but even then, most places are like 5 or 10 minutes. But ideally, you don't want to do that. You want to keep going and having fun, shopping, etc. Leaving to go to the bathroom is a waste of time, gas, etc. Plus, the person you're with is like, dude, come on, just use the bathroom. So I eventually got to a point where using the women's restroom just was not a possibility. If I went in there, it would make people feel uncomfortable. And while on one hand, I find it a little silly just because I'm obviously not going to do anything, and I myself am going through this like struggle of which bathroom to use, I also understand because women are inherently taught that everything falls on them. If they're assaulted, sexually assaulted, etc., they are like the ones to blame, so they instantly have to always be alert. And that is a whole other topic I'm going to try to like not dive into because I'll get heated and I'll go on a rant. But essentially, women are taught to be, like, on alert. They are the ones responsible. So I see why they have that feeling when they're in the bathroom of if they see someone, they're going to be kind of scared. And I can't really blame them for that. So I stopped using the women's restroom. Would still kind of use the one at home for a bit just because I didn't really feel like I belonged in the men's restroom. Once I finally did use the men's restroom, I still felt a little weird. So I think this is a good time to talk about men's restroom etiquette. So men are really simple. Believe it or not, it's actually easier than you think because men do not talk. They barely look at you, let alone make eye contact. Like, they're not really going to look at you a ton. They just mind their business. They don't really want to be bothered. They want to be in and out. Heck, sometimes, gross enough, they don't even wash their hands. They're in there for like 2 seconds. So realistically, I think you're just more scared than you should be. That's how I was. They're not going to look at you a ton. My first experience, so I don't think I had a ton of facial hair yet. I think it was just like little bits. I did have someone look at me and kind of like give me a second look, but just minded their business. They didn't say anything, barely looked at me again. So realistically, everything was fine. I understand if you're still uncomfortable though. What I would do as a tip and trick here is bring someone that you trust, bring a friend, have them go to the bathroom with you. For me, that wasn't a possibility. I have a shy bladder, as mentioned, and I just cannot bring someone I know. That would make it worse for me. So I just, at some point, was like, I gotta use the restroom, and there's no way I can use the women's restroom. Gotta do it. So I used the men's restroom. I think the most jarring part of using the men's restroom is just the differences. So obviously, different places you go to have different layouts, right? Just depending on the building structure. But women's restrooms are always sinks and stalls. Men's restrooms are sinks, urinals, and stalls. That always varies though. How many urinals? Is it just one? Is it a couple? How many stalls? Is it just one or a couple? It really just kind of depends. Also the layout. So oddly enough, there's this place I go to, and I don't know why, but right next to the sinks, like literally right there, is the urinal, which kind of gross if you think about it, because it's just you flush and it just. But anyways, it's right there. So if you're walking in and you're going to just wash your hands, not even use the bathroom, you're basically just walking in and looking at someone. A lot of the time, urinals have like a super tiny like wall, so you can't really see anything, but you can still see, like, it's a tiny wall, it doesn't really do anything. So I think that is mostly the stress, is when you're in a different bathroom that you're not familiar with, the layout's weird, so you kind of like look around and you feel a little out of place. But I think the best thing you can do is walk in with confidence, walk in with a purpose, and just go to the bathroom. there's plenty of things you can do. I just use the stall. I don't actually wear like a packer very often, hardly ever, in fact. But if you're finding that you are dysphoric and want to wear a packer, you want to pee at a urinal, there's devices you can use. You can get an STP. STP stands for stand to pee. So a lot of them are also dual function as like a packer. Some of them are not though. So make sure you're buying what you're looking for. I think what I'll do though is make a whole separate video about that, just because I could get really detailed as far as like pricing, reviews, this, that, and the other. So instead of making this like a million-minute video, I'd rather just make a separate video. But those are great as far as like dysphoria goes, so you can pack, pee at the urinal. Plus, honestly, that's the thing too, is it's going to be different depending on where you go. There might just be like 1 or 2 stalls and a bunch of urinals, and it might just be faster and easier to use a urinal. So I can see how that makes sense. I personally, because I'm not comfortable enough using one, just use a stall, and it's fine. Most of the time, to be honest, people just think you're pooping. They just assume you're pooping. They don't even, men are just weird. Cis men are gross. And they're like, oh, cool. Yeah, me too, man. You know what? I'm going to poop too. And go poop. Like, so casual. They do not care at all. Women's restrooms, it's always like taboo to go to the bathroom like that. But men do not care. So you going into a stall completely does not set off any weird things to them. They're like, okay, cool. Have a good poop. That's it. And again, because they don't talk to you or look at you, it really is just you going to the bathroom. It's just, honestly, like, the whole thing is just overthinking. So, like I said, now I'm at a point where I just use the bathroom because I just walk in and whatever. The layouts sometimes confuse me, and I kind of like, oh, wait. But I feel like that's just kind of normal anyways. I'm probably overthinking that aspect because layouts are different everywhere. Even cis men who have always used a men's restroom are still going to walk in and be like, where's the urinal? Because they're on different portions of the wall or in different portions of the bathroom, etc. So I wouldn't overthink that too much. I would just walk in, like I said, confident that you belong there. And I think that is the biggest key to success is I belong here. This is the bathroom I want to use. I belong in it. As far as being non-binary goes, to be honest, I don't have a lot of advice for that. Plus, I don't want to be that person that just tells you what to do without that experience. You know, I'm not non-binary. I'm a trans man. I don't have that same shared experience you do, and I genuinely think that I would be taking the voice of someone else and talking over people who have that experience, and that's not right of me. So unfortunately, if you're watching this and you're non-binary, I wish I had more to tell you. I would say go look up non-binary creators to see if they have advice. I'm sure they exist out there. If not, hopefully maybe you can be that voice to help pave the way and help other people. It's just, like I said, it's not my place. I don't have advice. I wish I did, honestly, just because I like helping, but not my experience, not my story to tell. So if you're a trans man, happy to offer my advice. If you're a trans woman and happen to be watching this, I don't really feel that I have the same, again, shared experience that you do. The only advice that I really think I could offer is women's restrooms. I obviously grew up using them. I've used them for like 25 plus years of my life. So I get it. It's interesting. Really, it's kind of the same premise. You just walk in like you belong in the restroom. Of course, like I said, women are a lot more ingrained to be self-aware, so you'll probably get a lot more looks than you would in a men's restroom, but I would say the best thing you could do is go in with a friend at first, because the friend will be there to stick up for you, and also you being with another woman who doesn't question that you belong there kind of helps with other people not questioning that you belong there. So if that's going to help at first while you are getting used to going to the restroom and getting used to it, absolutely do that, because I think safety goes above all else. I think it's weird, the different styles of bathrooms, how, like, on one hand, there's people who will sit there and talk to you, like, in a stall, and there's some where they won't even, like, they won't even make eye contact or look at you unless they, like, absolutely have to, or it's, like, an accident. So, I find that interesting. So, yes, restrooms. I think the summary that I could give you is bring a friend if you're not comfortable, walk in confidently like you belong there, and just practice going into the bathroom. Even if you don't pee, just go in to wash your hands. Do that. That might be helpful, especially if you're going to a place fairly often and you think you'll have to use the restroom. I would say go in and wash your hands to get an idea of the layout of the bathroom and to kind of like scope it out, and it'll kind of help you feel more confident. Even if you're just walking there to wash your hands, it'll help establish that you belong in there, you're confident, you got this. So that is my advice on bathrooms. I wish I had more to say, but I really think it is just down to those things. If you have more questions, comments, concerns, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to talk to you about it. If you have your own experience, let's say you are a trans man, trans woman, non-binary person, etc., and you want to also just kind of open a dialogue for other people to get advice, share experiences, please, I would love that. I don't speak for all trans people, nor all trans men. This is literally just my experience. So if you have a different experience that you think will help other people, please share it. I think that is so helpful, especially for people who are just starting to kind of get used to things and starting to use the restroom. I honestly think that just hearing those different experiences, tips, and tricks will make people feel more comfortable. So definitely leave that in the comments below. And thanks for watching.